Kain nga palo.
Palisa.
All right, who has the next question?
I was listening to all the dialogue and all of what you brother said and how we could organize and stuff. I think one of the big problems for us right now is that they're trying to instill so much fear in the people. When we're doing peaceful protesting, they're shooting us with rubber bullets, beating us down, locking us up. You know, everybody's scared to participate because they're seeing what's happening. They're trying to disperse us like that. Also in schools, they don't want to teach us about the history of our people, so they don't want us to know how powerful we really are and what rich history we really have. They want us to feel like we're lesser than to keep us oppressed. So, like, I'm also interested in how we can go about getting past these obstacles and stop the fear and be able to get together and be strong together, knowing that as long as we all stay together, we're going to be strong enough to overcome these kind of things, you know? So, like, that's basically my question. Like, how can we deter the people's fear from, oh, we're going to get beat, we're going to get arrested, we're going to get shot with rubber bullets, they're throwing concussion grenades, they're blowing people's arms open. You know, why should we go and protest? Is it really that? I mean, we live in a right, I guess, you know? Like, we could just keep on how we are, you know? I don't want any problems. Like, how can we break that kind of mentality that's been instilled in the people, you know?
You want to respond to that?
Well, yeah, I think, like, considering what we're up against as human beings who want to claim the right to live life as we see fit, you know, we're pretty much reclaim our freedoms and liberties and all that kind of stuff. I think now is the time to be educating ourselves, because like we were saying, you know, think about how many generations have been going through the systematic process of de-education, and now we're just, I mean, you know, I like to think that we become more and more aware every day as individuals and as a collective. But you know, to go out and protest and whatnot, like, of course, you know, it's great to group like that and to, you know, have a voice heard and to be seen and X, Y, and Z, but it also works against us, because then we're out there being seeing these people. You know, I like to think that the police themselves are a benevolent organization, but, you know, there are other organizations, whether they're official or not, they're collecting all kinds of intelligence on these people that are going to be organizing against them and whatnot. So, you know, I think, I don't know, like, it's tricky, because protests are great opportunities to even learn things as well. It's all about one or the other on the same issue and tackle. But yeah, I mean, there are some really powerful people and some really powerful institutions that work to keep us down.
And the other thing they do, right, they plan people to throw things at the police or try to rile people up to say that it was non-violent, but now look at these savages, they get violent, like, and then they want to demonize us and our cause and what we're trying to, you know, bring about to the people and trying to do it the right way, and they try to just demonize us on that, make us out to be animals or savages.
Then they have undercover agents infiltrate the organization, or, you know, even if it's not an organization. You know, they'll walk around the protest, act like they're part of it, and then something where a law enforcement agency causes you to do something, and goes, oh, you just did that, you know, they're going to arrest you.
Or they'll start it, or they'll have somebody start it, and then people that move in groups, they have so much anger, so they can initiate that kind of like push us towards that direction of changing it from something positive to something negative.
What you guys are, you know, bringing up is the classical boogeyman. Okay.
I guess it's part paranoia.
Of how big and bad the man is. Okay. You may think I may start sounding like a broken record, but the solution to it is in building a movement. When you hear that word, those words, it implies many things. There was a reason why I was part of the defense ministry of the Young Royals. It was organization. The defense ministry was responsible for defending and protecting the organization. And that covered everything that it can possibly mean. Okay? We protected ourselves from police informants, just as we protected ourselves from provocateurs in demonstrations. Okay? We used the power of persuasion, as well as we used the power of knocking your ass down. You know, whatever it took. You know, because when you build a movement, you build it with the intention, with the motive of making it invincible. As you know, there have been many movements before, and you provoked me to refer to a movement that occurred before our existence. In fact, a generation or two before our existence, and that was the Communist Party USA. They had infiltrated and they had organization in just about every part of the social and economic spectrum of the society. It is the reason why you work only 8 hours. It is the reason why some people have unions. It is the reason why we have public education. It is the reason why we have Social Security benefits. All of those things, and I can continue mentioning other benefits. They were the works of that movement. And its highest point was the 1930s. And it compelled the rulers to start signing off for legislation that gave us those rights. You see, they may seem invincible when they have their riot gear and their nightstick and their tear gas rifles and all of that, but they are really the ones that are vulnerable. Okay? They are really the ones that are vulnerable, and that has been proven over and over and over and over again. You know, whatever they come up with, there is a tactic to counter them. It's just that we need to develop it. But you cannot develop it unless you have a movement. And again, I refer myself to the Cuban experience, the Cuban Revolution, because the army of Batista was one of the most organized and one of the most armed in Latin America. And a group that began with 7 men and women was able to galvanize the entire country to overthrow that power. You know, so nothing is impossible. In China, Mao Zedong organized the vast majority of the Chinese people and got rid of another puppet of these rulers. You know, so they are going to scare us with their aesthetics, and that's all it is. Their aesthetics, you know, and they have these. They are, you know, have developed a way to develop a sophistication to put these prints in our minds that they are invincible, but they are not.
Next question, real quick.
Well, there's other people, so let's bring it around.
Okay. Go ahead, Mom.
Well, I had a question. What you said, like you shared your experience with your own the Young Royals Party. I'm sure that wasn't everybody else's experience, right? So what would you say to people who say that like it's unnecessary? Who would have been like, oh, this is unnecessary, it's really not that serious. You know, the people who are like the skeptics, the people that are like, oh, it's not really real, you know, it's not serious, whatever. How would you address the people who would validate the struggle and try to encourage or?
Because conditions create a need for change. If you may not believe me today, you will remember what I said to you tomorrow when the shit hits the fan and hits you in the face. Bottom line. I had a lot of people, especially the older people in my community, tell me that I was a gang and that I was doing unruly things and that I shouldn't even be involved, that what kind of example am I giving about a Puerto Rican? And I said, you know what, you don't understand it now, but I know that when your building gets set on fire, you're gonna understand it. And that very person came to a general meeting of the Young Lords in the Southeast Bronx, Longwood Avenue, because her landlord paid a junkie to set the building on fire. And he got the insurance money, and she was left homeless without anything that she had worked for.
That was very common in the 1970s, by the way.
Yep. So, you know, you educate and persuade. Educate and persuade, and then let circumstances show that what you were educating is factual. Go ahead, sir.
Circumstances already show, because people who voted for Trump, some of their programs are being affected now and are seeing that what he was saying is not affecting them at the moment, but is affecting them in the future, whether it be their parents or themselves. Meals on Wheels is a perfect example. A lot of people are being affected by those cuts. And they stated they voted for Trump thinking it was going to change everything. And now they're being aware of what's going on. Yeah. I also feel that, like you said, your group is only as strong as your weakest link. And the majority of our society has fell into sensationalism and wanting to escape their own lives and watching everybody else's life in a way of trying to feel better for themselves or about themselves. So if we don't pull back from that and start addressing our own issues, we're then not going to be able to organize and move forward. So,
But this is